Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for being my friend and watching these videos with me. So I thought that today we can watch some healing frequency videos, right? Because we know that frequencies help us. I know whenever I'm down and I put on a good healing frequency, my mood lightens up. They say there's frequencies to heal the body. There's even like frequency pods now in some centers that you can go to and they heal you with frequencies. So I figured we should watch a few of the videos together and, find out about healing frequencies together. So maybe the next time you have a headache, you can try it for yourself, put on a frequency and see if that frequency helps your headache or whatever is going on with you, because there's different frequencies for different things.
I am the only that I know survivor of stomach and esophagus cancer in this nation. I'm the only one that I know. All right? I did it with frequency. A man by the name of Royal Rife in 1934 had a microscope and invented a particular device. I found one of his original devices. I used it, and it got rid of my cancer, and I haven't had it since. Now, that was in 1934. So you can see what they've held from you. So what we did is we looked at Nikola Tesla. We looked at all his equipment. We did all his stuff. And I went out searching out original pieces of his equipment. I own more pieces of original Tesla equipment than any other human that I know. And so using lightning, 1,200,000 volts of kinetic energy, we fire that down a tube onto an absolute pure piece of silver. It's 99.99999 parts pure. It's as expensive as platinum. The lightning boils the molecules on the surface, and we spray clean drinking water as rain onto the surface, and the molecules explode into solution in angstrom size, and we can control the lightning, and what happens is it controls the field of flux around the tiny molecules of silver, and so therefore the silver starts to broadcast that into solution, and voila, we have a Rife machine in water. And I found out that all the planets that revolve around the sun are making noise. They're saying to each other, they're making noise. And then I found out that miraculously, when a piano was invented, they didn't even know about some of the planets. But when they tuned that piano, they matched all the hertz rates and all the notes to all the planets, and they got them all right.
Do you see? Because everything is built on frequencies.
We talk a lot about frequency, and I know you've mentioned that in a lot of your videos. Why is it so important to listen to high frequency music?
Because that frequency goes to your third eye, and the sound of it sends shock waves.
Where do the shock waves go?
To your third eye, which powers it.
Okay. And does the frequency only affect the third eye, or does it affect
the whole body? It goes to the third eye, but then it also kind of strikes the whole body.
So the frequency that you listen to affects the third eye, and then it goes into your
powers it up. Yep. It goes into your bloodstreams, the sound of it. It changes the structure of DNA to be healthier. Strengthens your DNA.
That's so interesting. It's amazing that frequencies that we listen to can do something to our entire body.
Yeah.
What does it do to our home then? If it changes the frequencies in our bodies, what can it do to our home?
It moves around certain types of energy that are not supposed to be there, that are bad.
That's beautiful. I love that. Maybe we should play frequency music all day long, even if we're not home.
Yeah, we do sometimes.
Yeah, we do sometimes. And the energy feels good. Who's your favorite artist for frequency music?
Saint Finnegan on YouTube, and his music is very good. Also, make sure to subscribe to him. My favorite song from him is probably Monarch.
Yeah, we love that song. It gets us motivated in the morning. And his music is high frequency. It is healing. And that's why he calls it Energy Hospital, because it can actually heal someone. I love that. We talk a lot about frequency.
nobody is ready for this one.
This young fellow, I think he is so amazing and like brilliant and so intelligent. Like, you can tell that he's very connected, you know, and like he really knows what he's saying because he's very on point. I've watched a few of his other videos, and he just blows me away each time. He's amazing.
This probably looks familiar. It probably looks like these cymatic patterns that I talk about all the fucking time. And all these things is a petri dish on top of a speaker and a light on top of it, making these cool mandala-like patterns. Now this man made one of them in a 3D design software and took cross sections of it and put different colors to those cross sections. So using a 3D cymatic pattern, this man was able to create a perfect image using sound and light. I want you to sit and really think about this, because this is the code to reality. This is the code to the matrix, or whatever you want to call it. This is how energy interacts with itself to create everything that you see. This is why cymatics and sound is so important. Vibration in general. It's all waves. And that's how we make sense of it.
Now, I think that is so flippin' amazing. Don't you? Like, that is so cool. That was so amazing.
What if there were no borders, no passports, no visas, you travel and live wherever you like, but there is one catch. Your energy grants you access, and the only restriction is your frequency. To access higher frequency zones, your frequency must meet a certain level. So if your frequency is at a 7, you can access 7 zones and below. You decide to visit a 7. If for some reason your frequency starts to dip, you're sent to a frequency rehabilitation or frequency improvement area. Sounds dark, but it's full of sounds, activities, and food that'll help you raise your frequency back to the acceptable level. But even in rehab, if it dips too low, let's say 2 points below the required level, you're temporarily exiled. So you travel. Maybe you decide to indulge in the lower frequencies for a bit. Maybe you spent so much time in 7, you forgot what hot Cheetos taste like. Hot Cheetos vibrate at a 4, so they don't exist in 7. So you head to a 4 to have a taste. And remember, you're a 7. Well, technically a 5 since you got exiled, but since you're a 5, you don't have to worry about lowering your frequency to access 4, because you can access anything at a 5 or below. And once you get into 4, your frequency kind of starts to vibrate closer to 4. The lower levels are a lot more dense, so it's easier for them to pull you towards them. So now you're a 4.5 enjoying your hot Cheetos, and if you stay long enough, you'll become a 4. Because the food you're eating, the people around you, the media, everything else is a 4. You become a product of your environment. But even 4s have their limits, and the same rules apply. So if you dip below, rehab or exile. But what if you start to raise your frequency? Maybe you get tired of Cheetos, you're craving something fresh and organic. Tired of the dull conversations, and you're starting to realize these 4s sure do complain a lot. Unlike lowering your frequency, if you raise it, no one's gonna kick you out. Because remember, your frequency grants you access. That's the rule, and you're a 4. But all those thoughts about apples and organic vegetables and uplifting conversations, they're starting to affect your frequency. Now you're a 4.5, then a solid 5. So you start to isolate yourself from the other 4s. You don't fit in, and you really don't have anything to talk about anymore. So you spend even more time alone. You're meditating, going inward, and now you're a 6. You're not resonating with anyone unless you come down, and you don't want to come down. You like how a 6 feels. The gap has become so wide and glaring, you have to get out of there. So you leave, and the choice is yours. Where do you go next? What if there were no borders?
Wow, that is actually so beautiful. Let me follow her.
You're not supposed to ever be sick. Never. The body is a miraculous machine that has been created to take care of itself and heal itself if we don't interfere. But you make yourself sick. And if the mind is powerful enough to make yourself sick, it's also powerful enough to heal you. First, we got to find out why. Why did you do this to yourself? What were you trying to tell yourself? Every disease is the body talking to you. You're not supposed to ever be sick.
And you know what? Like, I literally believe that because there are times that I get sick and I know I made myself sick. It's like, for example, like there's times when I know I'm supposed to fast because I received the message that I'm supposed to fast, and I don't fast, And then what I will find is that like all of a sudden I'll be so sick that I just can't eat. Like literally. I'll be so sick I can't eat. Or like, you know, I'll be stressed out and then it's like, I don't know, it's like I have the thought and then boom, I get a flu. You know what I mean? And then I'm stuck in bed for days, right? So it's like I do agree with that 100%.
Quick thought. You know, we be outside, we see wasps or bees, and we be scared. We like, shit, there's a bee, right? Bees resonate, man, at a frequency of 500 hertz. So I love healing frequency, right? That's why them beekeepers, they deal with them bees. The beekeepers is around the healing frequency every day, all day. So bees, everything we've been taught to fear is actually helpful towards us, for us. Like bees. Be around a bunch of bees. So when you see bees and they come around you, that's a good thing. That means you vibrating high and you at love frequency, you tune into the right frequency. So now think about it. Bees are always around with people that's vibrating high, with a high frequency. So now don't be afraid of the bees when you see the bees. Now you know what they are. Only thing they're doing is following the frequency. So if you vibrate high, you're gonna attract bees. All right? Bees have the most highest healing frequency.
Yeah, I'm terrified of bees. Bees follow me everywhere, and it's the most terrifying thing ever. I remember when we first moved into this house, so I found 3 bees in one day in the house, okay? Like, seriously. And I was freaking out. I didn't even know what I was gonna do because I was so freaked out. Like, seriously, 3 freaking bees. One bee came, my son got it, and then another, I was sitting down and I seen another bee, and then oh my gosh, my son came again. And then the 3rd bee, my son had to come again. Thank God for my big son, because my gosh, like, I was like freaking out, you know? Freaking out. Like, oh my gosh. Like, that was absolutely absurd. And then they're like, how come you keep seeing all these bees? I don't know. Like, why were they even in the house to begin with? Like, super scary. I don't like bees. Do not like them. Well, if you enjoyed these frequency healing videos, don't forget to subscribe so we can be friends. I always need a good friend to talk to, you know? And I love watching these videos with my friends. So like, comment, and subscribe, okay? Bye.